Welcome. Today we're doing my favourite plants of the month of March, and the first plant I have is the Syngonium tricolour, and I'm just loving this plant at the moment. I just really love the variegation on the leaves of this one. This one hasn't actually put out any new leaves for me yet, but I'm really looking forward to it doing so. It is starting to form a new leaf, I can see, so it is having a go, but I'm just really loving having another kind of Syngonium in my collection, because I have the white butterfly Syngonium, and yeah, I'm just really loving having another one. I really do enjoy Syngoniums in general. I love the shapes and the colours that you can get. So yeah, and these actually used to be quite difficult to get hold of apparently. They used to be quite rare, but they're not quite as difficult to get hold of now, although you don't see them around too much. I actually got this one as a real bargain in the sale. It was just £10, so that was a good deal. Next up is this Croton Petra. This is another new plant, but I'm just loving this one because I don't actually have any plants with this colour variegation on them. This is the only one, and I just really love the uniqueness of this, how it really stands out from the other plants. And I always find it quite exciting with variegated plants, because each new leaf is kind of more exciting because you're not sure what kind of variegation you're going to get. And this one hasn't actually put out a new leaf yet, but I'm really excited to see this one grow, and at some point I'd like to try and get this one to branch too, so I will probably do some pruning at some point, but I shall wait until it's a bit bigger and a bit more established. But yeah, it's just a lovely cheery colour, this one. Sometimes yellowish variegation can make a plant look a bit sickly, but with this one it's kind of almost quite a deliberate pattern, so it doesn't really look like it's sick, if you know what I mean. Next is this Dieffenbachia, and I'm just loving this one this month. The gorgeous new growth that's coming in is so beautiful, and I just love the variegation on this plant and the shape of the leaves. The way it grows is just really pretty, and eventually I think these get quite woody in their stems. I've seen pictures of older plants, and they seem to get quite woody on the stems, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing this plant grow up and change. But at the moment it's looking nice and full and really beautiful, and it does seem to be keeping that variegation as well. And I'm always a little bit unsure about whether a plant will keep its variegation, whether it will be stable, but so far this one seems to be really stable, so that's good. And I've been keeping a good watering and fertilising regime for this one, which it seems to be enjoying because it's putting out loads of beautiful new growth, so I shall continue with that strategy. I've been giving it plenty of light, plenty of fertiliser, every other watering, and yeah, just being really consistent with my watering. This one doesn't like to dry out, so I am keeping it very moist. Next up is this Bird of Paradise, and the reason I've got this one as a favourite this month is because it's really started to grow and it's putting out new leaves. Not only that, but it's also sized up the leaves it already has, and I've really noticed the difference with this plant. I think at some point soon I'm going to have it as a floor plant. At the moment I have it in my windowsill because I want it to get as much light as it can. These plants can actually deal with some direct sun, and they do like high light, so I think it's loving the spot that I have it in at the moment, but I think at some point it's going to need a bigger pot, and this one is actually drying out quite quickly at the moment, so I think it might need repotting again. It does outgrow its pot very quickly and it gets very thirsty, but I just love how this plant is growing, and I'm excited to see it turn into one of those huge Bird of Paradises that you see around. I think it's just going to be a pleasure to see this one grow from little baby to a big plant, because it was probably about here when I got it, so it was just very, very small. Next up, it's my philodendron silver sword, and we've been through a little bit this month. I thought this plant had spider mites, and it turned out to just be a spider web, but I got it straight in the shower, showered it down, and it didn't turn out to be spider mites, thank goodness. But then I noticed that the soil it was in was just awful and really, really dense, so I repotted it. I did actually film that, so if you'd like to watch it, it is in my library here. So I'm really glad that it didn't turn out to be spider mites, and I'm also really glad that this plant is now in some lovely new substrate and will be much more happy. But this is definitely one of my all-time favourites at the moment. I really want this plant to do well. It's currently putting out 2 new leaves. It's really exciting to see them unfurling. It is taking its time about it, but that's just philodendrons for you. I'm just really excited to see this plant grow, and I just love the gorgeous colours in this one. It's got that blue tinge to it. It's kind of a tinge of green that I don't see in a lot of my other plants, and it just really stands out to me. The leaves are so lovely and glossy, and I love the shape of the leaves as well. Next up is this massive Monstera adansonii. I can hardly get any of it in shot, but I will insert some clips. I've been propagating it, I've got lots of cuttings all around. I'm just obsessed with this plant at the moment, I really do love it. The great thing about this plant is it's super easy to care for. I recently did a care video if you're interested. Really, really easy plant to care for, and it's very rewarding because it grows fast and it's never fussy. It just does its thing. It's also super easy to propagate as well, which is great. And yeah, this one is firmly in my favourites for this month for sure. I absolutely love this plant. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.